Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Flight Podcast. My name is Jacob Shanker.
And I'm Andrew Thomas.
Shut up and sit down.
So, Mr. Shanker,
Yes.
how are you doing on this fine March month?
Pretty swell, pretty swell. Very exciting March Madness weekend. That was crazy. I mean,
So many upsets. So many upsets. It's crazy.
I was completely shocked by so many of these games. I mean, a lot of them you expected. Obviously, Gonzaga, Baylor to do well, Michigan, all these top teams. They're
Yep.
obviously doing well. Some did not do as well. Illinois, Ohio State, but I mean, it was an interesting weekend. So why don't we get right into it, talking about March Madness? What are your three biggest takeaways from this weekend?
Three biggest takeaways is that any team can win it. Win games. Not the Final Four, obviously, but like you saw teams like Oral Roberts that took down what's their name?
Ohio
Still kind
State,
of confused. No. The team that lost to Oral Roberts.
Florida.
That's what I call them. Yeah. Team that I that's what, like the team that lost to Oral Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
Oral Roberts won by 3 multiple times. Both times it was Ohio State and Florida. I don't know how they lost to Oral Roberts, but Oral Roberts had been pretty killing it. Um, and Oregon State has been doing pretty good too.
Yeah, they have. Um, I mean, you're definitely right about Oral Roberts. They've been the big story right now in March Madness. Just them completely shocking everybody. Not because nobody thought they would make it past the round of 64, but here they are in the Sweet 16. So my three biggest takeaways. First one, I would not underestimate Loyola Chicago.
I wouldn't either. They're gonna pull off another Final Four. Well, you
That
never
is
know.
that is what
They
I
could
was going to say.
possibly pull off another Final Four run.
I honestly think they could. I would not be surprised if I saw them in the Final Four.
I
Right?
wouldn't either.
They're playing Oregon State on Saturday, right? Which I think they can win. Then they're going to play the winner of Syracuse and Houston, which will most likely be Houston. Which again, I'm not going to be surprised if I see Loyola Chicago winning, since they did beat Illinois, which was the number one team in the Midwest. So
They beat
I
them by
mean,
13 points.
yeah, so I mean, it's not crazy to see them play a team like Baylor. I don't think they'll be able to make it to the chip, but that's one thing. The
We'll see how it
next,
goes.
yeah, uh, the next thing that I want to say, oh, I mean, just bouncing off of what you were saying, that any team can really win games, right? I mean, just overall, it's even. I feel like rankings is kind of misleading because you think, especially when you're making your brackets, because I'm thinking like, oh, this team has a higher ranking, then they're obviously going to win. No, right? I mean, Abel Christian won over Texas. Even though it was by 1 point, they still won, and Texas was
Yeah.
third. Abel
And then they
Christian,
got murdered by UCLA and lost by 20.
yeah. I mean, there was so many upsets this weekend. If I had to one, there was the Ohio and Virginia. There was UCLA and BYU, Abel Christian in Texas, Maryland and UConn, Wisconsin and North Carolina, North Texas and Purdue, Oral Roberts and Ohio State, Oregon State and Tennessee, Syracuse and San Diego State,
That
and
was a
Rutgers and
great game to
Clemson.
watch.
Yeah, and Rutgers and Clemson. And that's all in the first round.
Yeah.
That's all in the first round.
Just the first round. And
that's
then
about 10
obviously
upsets.
Loyola and Illinois, and then Oral Roberts in the second round.
Yeah.
That was pretty something. That was something pretty to watch.
Yeah. So, I mean, anybody can win it. And the last thing I want to say is the biggest thing is, which kind of ties into why it's anybody can win it, is this year is completely different from any other year we've had in March Madness. And the reason for that is mainly because of COVID, because of the fans, because they're not having the fans that they can have there. Because we know that during March Madness, the fans get very gritty.
Hyped and
They get
crazy.
hyped, crazy, rooting for
They're
their team.
crazy.
We know what they get like, and they couldn't do that this year. Obviously, they had some fans in the crowd, but it's not the same. So the opposing team is not really affected by it that much. That's why I think that we were able to see so many upsets in
That's
this
a reason.
March Madness. Yeah,
That is definitely a reason.
100%.
But yeah, let's get into some hot takes on March Madness. My hot take, a very bold take. Gonzaga's going to win it. They're going to beat Baylor in the final. And
It's not a hot take. I mean,
it's a bold take. I
I
just told you it's a
guess.
bold take.
Okay.
You
Bold
guys
take.
see how my co-host is trying to expose me? This is not okay.
Continue on, Mr. Thomas.
Another hot take, obviously, that we talked about before is that Loyola will probably make it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Or possibly make it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. Those are the biggest hot takes for me. Actually, that's just one hot take, though. And I think that Oral Roberts can put up a good fight against Arkansas. I'm gonna watch that game, and I'm gonna be excited to watch it. I'm rooting for Oral Roberts.
Yeah. I was going to say, I would not be surprised if I saw Oral Roberts beat Arkansas this weekend and play against Baylor in the Elite Eight. I think it's going to be very tough for them again, but I think they can honestly pull it off. I would not be surprised because, in my opinion, Arkansas is a worse team than Ohio State, is a worse team than Florida, which I think Florida is a very underrated team, and Oral Roberts was able to beat
I agree with you on the Florida statement.
both of them. So I mean, in my Final Four, I mean it's changed a lot. I mean, I had Illinois there.
Obviously, that didn't go to plan.
Obviously that didn't go to plan. I mean, I even had Texas Tech in one of my brackets, but that didn't go to plan either. So my right now, as of now, my Final Four, which I got Gonzaga from the East. Gonzaga from the West. From the East, I'm going to go with Florida State because I think they've been playing really good team basketball. I've really liked how they've been playing, and I think that they can pull it off against Michigan this weekend. I think it's doable, but again, I would not be surprised if it's Michigan. And from the South, Baylor.
Obviously.
Enough said. And like we said before, from the Midwest, Loyola Chicago. They can do it. We already explained it. I mean, I don't want to explain it again.
Yeah, I think that Houston Loyola is going to be a really good game if it happens. But if Syracuse beats Houston somehow,
there's no way.
Yeah, no freaking way that happens. But I can see
way.
Loyola going to the Final Four. I've said that they're going to have a tough fight against Houston, but I think that Loyola is going to end up winning in a close one. And for the East, I really do want to say Florida State, but Michigan's been doing pretty well, and I don't want to.
But I don't know.
And even so, they still have Alabama on the other side.
Also, this is probably the biggest hot take, but I don't think this is going to happen, right? In terms of Gonzaga, I think that Gonzaga, I feel like they're all over the place in terms of they can either win it. I mean, it's like you said before. Any team can win it. Not win it, but any team can win. I'm just saying, I would not be surprised if Gonzaga lost. Not this weekend, but either in the Final Four or just didn't make the championship. I would not be surprised.
You're crazy. You've got.
I'm not, man.
After 70 episodes
listen to me.
Of the podcast.
Listen to me, Andrew. I think that they're going to make the championship. I do think that they're going to make the championship. But after this weekend, I don't know anymore with the NCAA.
Gen Z is going to cancel you.
Gen Z is going to cancel me.
Gen Z is going to cancel you. What am I,
Eminem?
That is, oh my God. That is so ridiculous. I'm sorry. That after 70 episodes of being on this podcast, that is one of the most ridiculous statements I have ever heard you say. You just said that you would not be surprised if Gonzaga didn't get into the final or the Final Four.
We've seen things like this before. Look at Duke.
That's a difference.
Yeah. Why was that different?
Because first off, Gonzaga is perfect. There was better teams going
Duke.
up against Duke in that case, Gonzaga is perfect. They beat Norfolk by 33 points. They almost dropped 100.
Andrew, this is Norfolk.
They still
Obvious-
dropped 98 points, which is ridiculous.
Name one
Use-
player on Norfolk.
Doesn't matter. They beat them by 33 points.
Nobody can, because they don't matter. You can't talk
It
about
doesn't
these
matter.
trash teams.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And they're also going against the possibility of Creighton, USC, and Oregon.
Yeah.
That's just no. You are crazy.
Yeah, but they'd also play against possibly Michigan or Florida State if they go to Final Four. Because out of the East, it's probably going to be either Michigan or Florida State. I don't think it's going to be Alabama or UCLA.
I think it could be Alabama.
Maybe. Definitely not UCLA, though.
No way.
No. Okay, let's go on to another big thing in the
Back to the NBA.
NBA. I mean, this is a sad time to watch. I feel like it's kind of not exciting to watch.
Injuries.
Right now. There's so many injuries. I mean, a lot of the top guys: Steph, KD, AD, Joel, LeBron, Giannis, and now even LaMelo.
LaMelo
He's
Ball,
not
yeah.
a top player, but he is probably one of the biggest stars.
He's
in the
box
league right
office.
now.
He's box
He is.
office.
So how has it been impacting the NBA? And I mean, how are you been impacted by it?
Well, I think it's weird that AD has been out this long.
Same.
I think that
Honestly, same with KD.
Yeah, I think KD, it's more because of the Achilles, and I think that they don't want to risk it. But there's no reason for AD to be out this long. He had what, a calf strain, I think? Yeah, he had a calf strain. It's been what, about a month and a half?
It's been
about a month and a half, and they don't expect.
All-Star break.
Yeah, that's more than a month and a half, and they don't expect him to come back until at least April. I'm sorry, but the recovery time for this injury is 4 to 6 weeks. It's been 6. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. There's something up. They need to check on him because they weren't going to they were reevaluating him sometime this week?
Not even. I think next week they were going to reevaluate him.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think that the Lakers are pulling some stuff, and I don't like it. And obviously with the Nets, I think that KD should be playing.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously they're scared because of the Achilles injury, and
as of March 15th, Davis could be sidelined for 3 more weeks and will be reevaluated on Friday.
Exactly. He could be out until April. That's
crazy.
Ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. I mean, especially with now LeBron's out, so the Lakers.
Well, LeBron's injury is going to keep him out for at least a month because it was a high ankle sprain, which is bad.
I know, but my point is that the Lakers need a player back. I mean, their best player right now is Montrezl Harrell. So,
yeah,
I mean
that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. So I think it's going to be tough, but I think it's going to be a tough few weeks watching the NBA since there's going to be so many players injured. I mean, I feel like I've at least. Can you recall any time when there's been this many big stars injured? I mean, obviously besides LaMelo, every single guy I listed was a top 10 player.
LaMelo is really important to the Hornets, and they're probably out of the playoff contention now unless they can keep it up.
I mean, they're in 4th, so.
Yeah, they're in a good position, but also they're not that many games back.
But I mean, in terms of the top players, I mean, I can't think of another time when this many top players in the league were injured all at once.
Well, you had Melo and Kobe, Amari.
Yeah.
That was back when Linsanity was a thing.
Oh yeah.
That was crazy.
That was crazy.
Not only that, LeBron was out for a few games that year. Dwayne Wade had injuries that year. That was pretty big.
That's probably the closest thing.
Probably the closest thing. Yeah, I agree.
But it's never been to this degree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Unless there's a lot of stars out with COVID, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, the only players in the top 10 that I'll say that are not injured right now are Kawhi, James Harden, Jokic, and Jimmy.
And Dame.
It's
pretty damn crazy.
It is pretty damn crazy.
Yeah, but going back to AD and LeBron, what are your thoughts on the situation for the Lakers. Because I think that they're going to start losing a lot of games. I don't think that they're going to win that many.
No.
I think that their record without AD and LeBron is going to go under 500. And I think they're going to go down to a no home court advantage for the playoffs seed.
I don't think they're going to go below. You said under 500?
Yeah, I don't think their team's good enough to go over 500.
I don't think. Well, wait. I'm just checking. What's the record right now?
Let's take a look at that. I got to pull up the standings for that because
Yeah, I'm trying to.
because I think that they are the number 3 or 4 seed. They're the 4th seed.
They're fourth right now.
Yeah, and
What's their record?
AD's going to be out for at least 5 more games, at least.
Yeah.
Or wait, let me check again. He said he was coming back until
He's being reevaluated
4,
Friday.
5, at least 5 more games.
Yeah, they're
So
28 and 16.
yeah, they're not going to win against the Sixers. They'll probably win the Cavs. They'll maybe beat the Magic, lose to the Bucks, Kings. We'll see how that goes.
I mean, yeah, but here's the bottom line is, I mean, we already talked about with AD whether he needs to come back, but
he does.
I think the biggest thing with the Lakers is if they're going to be able to win some games, because they're obviously not going to be what they were before. Even without AD, when it was just LeBron, they were still like what I remember. In their last 10 games, they would go like 6-4, 5-5, which is still
5-5 last 10.
Yeah, so I mean, they're still pretty good, but I mean, they need to be able to get more players through the trades. I mean, we're going to talk about the trades and stuff, but I mean, I've been seeing and hearing some things. I mean, with even possibly Terry Rozier going to the Lakers. I know we talked about this before.
Oh, every time. Oh, he's going to go to the Lakers. He's going to the Lakers. No. He's going to the Lakers. No. He's going to the Lakers. Oh, please.
I think you're just sad that Andre Drummond is also supposed to go to the Lakers and not.
I think it's just ridiculous. No. He's going to go to the Lakers.
Why do you think it's
year, he's going to go to the Lakers. Every year it happens.
I'm not saying he's going to the Lakers. I'm saying they discussed a trade, that they were talking about a trade. Andre Drummond, I think, is going to go to the Lakers, though, because
I think any team would be stupid to trade for Andre Drummond.
No, through a buyout. They would get him through a buyout. You just
said trade, though.
I meant buyout. I didn't mean to trade.
Okay, well, you said something different.
Okay, Mr. Thomas. Well, sorry. I meant the Lakers are going to sign Andre Drummond through a buyout because, A, that's what a ton of news agencies have been saying, and B, he's in LA right now. We know he's not going to go to the Clippers. And I don't know any other LA team.
Do you know he's not going to go to the Clippers? How do you know? You don't know that. Okay.
Come on, they have a Vika Zubac. They don't need him.
Oh, please.
No, but I mean they need to be doing these big things. And I'm sorry. Fire Frank Vogel, please.
Can we stop talking about the Lakers? We got a ton of trades we got to talk about. Let's stop talking about the Lakers.
My God.
The Raptors, Kyle Lowry. Jeez. I didn't know you were this big of a Lakers fan, man.
Excuse his behavior. It's not like we were just talking about the Lakers, but okay.
The Raptors are on a 9-game losing streak, and Kyle Lowry is likely going to get traded along with Norman Powell.
Just trade the entire team, man.
Just trade the entire team.
They all suck.
Get Siakam out of here.
They all suck.
He's not good anymore.
Except for Fred VanVleet.
Fred VanVleet is good. But to be honest, it's weird to think that Siakam is still averaging 20 and 7 and 5.
Oh, and I know where you were in a bad mood. Because the Wizards are 2-8 in their last 10 games. Oh, they're 13th in the East. I get it now.
I know why you're in such a bad mood, because LeBron's not going to be here for the next 2 months. Oh no.
I mean, I wasn't pissing and whining, but it's sad, man. Okay, but yeah, no, back to the Raptors. No, yeah, they suck. They're not making the playoffs. They've been a huge disappointment. Trade everybody, and I mean everybody. You can keep Nick Nurse. And Fred VanVleet.
Yep. And Kyle Lowry has great trade value. He's getting older. You should trade him.
Yeah. Right now, he's either going to be traded to the Sixers or the Heat. And looking at the offers that both teams are getting and giving, I think you should go to the Heat. Because look, Kyle Lowry.
Oh, Kyle Lowry. Didn't know if you're talking about Powell or Lowry.
No, Kyle Lowry. Because, I mean, just what the Heat can offer is so much more than what the Sixers can offer. Because the Sixers are just going to give a bunch of guards. Like, the Raptors don't need guards. They need big men, right? Pascal Siakam, I mean, I don't know what he is. Like, sure, he's a big man that pivots every 5 seconds for no goddamn reason. And then shoots the ball as a fadeaway. I mean, he is a bum. He's a bum after this.
I think that you're crazy for calling him a bum because he's still averaging 27 and 5. He's not a bum. He's a good player.
He's a good player, but
I
he
just
could be
think
doing
that
so much better.
you don't want to see talent with all those pivots. Come on, that's talent.
Yeah, it's talent. Maybe I'll try that move.
He's a great dancer.
He is a great dancer.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I mean, there's no huge names that are going to be traded in the trade deadline. I mean, it's not going to be, I feel like, any huge surprises. I mean, some of the things that we've been seeing the past few days, like what we were talking about before, Kyle Lowry, Norman Powell, even Oladipo, who's been in talks, Marcus Smart, Aaron Gordon. I mean, those are some of the big guys that we'll likely see traded. Even Lonzo Ball to the Knicks. Woo!
That would be really good for the Knicks.
That would be very good. I mean, they're sitting at 7th in the standings right now. That would definitely help them, especially since the Hornets are probably going to go down in the standings because it does not.
And definitely the Hawks. I'm sorry. The Hawks had the easiest 8-game winning streak I've ever seen. They didn't go up against a single team over 500 besides the Lakers, who were without LeBron.
No. I think the top 3 teams are going to stay the way they are most likely for the rest of the year. Probably the Nets will make number 1, mostly because Joel Embiid's injured. But I mean, the rest. I mean, I don't think the Hawks are going to make it. Hornets probably won't. Pacers probably will if they can start winning games again.
Yep.
I mean,
we'll see how it goes.
I mean, yeah. That's all for today, everyone.
Feel free to comment down below what your thoughts were on all the topics we discussed.
Tune into the next episode on Friday. See you guys next time.